Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, tonight we have a special guest. We got Zak Keefer in the studio, live on the Anvil Show with your boy Big P, Cloud the Voice, Big Country, Chase Vader, and your boy CJ. Again, this is the Anvil Show.
I'm not gonna bang it tonight.
You're not gonna
Okay.
bang it?
Okay. All
Bang
right.
it. Bang it for Zach.
Okay.
Just for Zach.
He
I've
was
never
trying
had
to
an
leave
intro
you.
like that.
He was trying to leave you out, Zach. Ain't that something?
Never.
I
Never.
Hey,
feel honored.
Zach. Yeah, Zach. Again, thank you for coming on the show. It's an honor to have you here. And it's just again, just thank you for taking your time out just to spend time with us.
No, happy to
Um,
do it.
yes. So my first question is, let's go ahead and jump into it. You recently you put out a piece on Andrew Luck on the rise and fall of Andrew Luck. So what made you want to write this piece on him? Like, tell everybody his story.
Yeah, originally I said no. Like the Athletic came to me and said, "Do you want to do a podcast series on Andrew Luck?" And I said, "Not really." We all, everyone who follows the Colts lived it, and it felt like it was time to move on. But Andrew was a super interesting guy, and it's a super interesting story. And I think it's among the most fascinating stories we've had in the NFL in the last 20, 25 years, just for a lot of reasons. And there's a lot of times in the last couple of years where I'll just be sitting there watching, whether it's Rivers or Carson Wentz or now Matt Ryan, thinking, like, Andrew's just 32 years old. Like, he could be playing right now. Like, how did it happen? Like, how did we get here? And, that's kind of what we tried to answer. How did we get here with the podcast?
Okay, that's
Awesome.
awesome. Big P, do you have a question?
I do, but I don't know if you can really answer the question because of knowledge or proprietary information. Um, and I know I screwed that word up. Don't laugh at me, you guys. I still got sweat the size of horse turds rolling off of me. But I always thought one of the reasons Andrew made the decision that he did, and it was just me speculating, that painkillers was part of that cycle of injury rehab, injury rehab, injury rehab. And when he got through them, got off of them, got hurt again, didn't want to get back on them. To me, I always felt that had a little something to go in his decision. Do you know anything about this, or am I way off, or am I getting warmer, or I'm just a dumbass?
I'll tell you this from all the conversations I had with Andrew and with a lot of people around him. I never once got that sense. Never
Okay.
once. People ask me all the time, why did he retire? Like, well, did you watch the press conference? Like, just go back and watch it. It's on YouTube. Like, you could see a man pouring his heart out, and it's hard to watch, like, as a human. I think he tells us why in that press conference. I don't think there's anything out there that's surprising. And he was, I mean, this is speculative on my part, but it wasn't, the painkillers weren't the issue with the shoulder. It was getting the shoulder to work again. Think about if you're a star quarterback in the NFL and you can't pick up your right arm. Like that's kind of what led to the dark, dark places that he was in 17 and 18.
Well, regardless, I enjoyed him off the field, and I've always given him nothing but credit for making that decision for himself, his health, and his family. And now, was timing horrible? Yeah, absolutely. But for a man to have tears in his eyes when because of this decision he made, that was painful. And it would to me, it was something that he really, really had to do. He really had to step away from this game because of his health, because of his family. So I applaud him for it. To me, it took a lot of strength.
And I think, for those of you guys that have listened to the podcast, I think David Shaw might say it best. He's the Stanford coach who's pretty close to Andrew to this day. He says this is more about us than it is about Andrew. Like the fans and the people wanting him to come back. It's more about the idea of Andrew Luck, and it's not more about the person who, he's pretty happy right now. Like he's moved on. I think he's at peace with football. I think he's dipping his toes back into the game a little bit, helping Robert Mathis coach a little. He, volunteered out in Colorado for a couple of days, and I think he really enjoyed that. So I think he's at peace with the game. I'm not sure everyone's at peace with his decision, but that's probably always going to be the case.
We're going to answer Tyler's question here real quick. Does Andrew belong in the Ring of Honor? Yes, absolutely friggin' yes. Do I got thumbs up on the panel tonight over that?
Too easy.
Okay, yeah. There you go.
That kind of leads into my question. First, Zach, it's an honor to talk to you. Anyone that's a Colts fan know you're synonymous with it. So appreciate all the work you've done over the years.
Thank you.
But I'm kind of asking this question from, I've listened to the series twice, and I know, like you said, when he left, there was a lot of fans that were kind of spurned by that. A lot of hatred, kind of the booing, whatever. After completing this project, have you thought about perhaps maybe this is kind of, I don't know, reintroduced us to Andrew Luck and have certain fans kind of love him again? Because I know I never lost love, but I heard the craziness. I seen the burn jerseys, all the nonsense. So have you had a chance to think about that?
Good question, and thanks for the kind words. I think the word that a lot of people have shared with me is closure. And it was so sudden, and Andrew knew this. It was so unpredictable. It was such a stunning moment. You guys remember exactly where you were when you found out, right? There's no way you don't, right? If you follow this team. And it was the most surreal night of my career for a lot of reasons. But I think a lot of I think Andrew's story is there's a lot more to it than just how it ended, right? There's layers to this. No one talks about 12 and 13 and 14 and 15, how good he was and how fun those rides were. Exasperating at times, but that's the last time they hosted a playoff game. It was 2014. So I think, when it came out, a lot of people were giving me crap because I don't want to go back to that guy. He quit on us and that. And I'm like, well, there's a lot more to his story than just August 24th of 2019. And I wanted to tell that story. And for those of you that listened, I think hopefully that came through, that there's a lot more layers to this. And it's not just about the pain of the end, right?
Absolutely. Costa, are you up next?
Yes, sir. How's it going, Zach? Appreciate you being on the show with us, buddy. And like Clyde said, it's a great honor to have you on here with us.
Thanks for having me.
We all look up to you and everything. We look forward to reading your stories. So get into my first question of the night. Everybody knows, if they all listen to the show, your conversation with Andrew in that coffee shop was completely off record, and we'll continue to respect that. So as just talking to him, man to man, face to face, can you elaborate a little more on what his mental status is? I know you said he's kind of, football is kind of like a shadow to him now. So, but overall, how is he mentally?
Yeah, he's good. It was great catching up with him. I'll be honest. He seemed happy. We talked about a bunch of different stuff. We didn't just talk about football, but I did say that I think he's at peace with football. I think he is. And he watches a lot of the games, and, his teammates are starting to move on. Jack Doyle's retired, and T.Y.'s not there right now. And, Costanzo's retired. But the relationship he had with Irsay and with Frank and with Chris Ballard, that's real. That's real. And he really does stay in touch with those guys. And Chris is close with him. They really are. And so I that was my takeaway. You asked about the mental thing. The mental thing was really tough in 17 and 18. He admitted to me how dark it was in those points, and he didn't think he was going to come back. He came back and obviously lit it up in 18. But then I think in 19 it was hard again. And I could see that at that time. And then I can't imagine what it was like a week after he retired, and 2 weeks, in a month, because, this is my word, this is not him, but I'm sure there was some shame that he felt walking away when he did and how he did, right? I mean, I think it was the right decision, but both things can be true. And I think it took some time for him to move past that. And I think it took time from Colts fans to move past it too, because when in NFL history have you ever seen anything like that? An NFL quarterback, a franchise quarterback, retiring 15 days before week 1.
Yeah. I don't know. Now, let me throw this up real quick, you guys. Sean asked, any truth to Andrew Luck getting hurt in a snowboarding accident? I never really believed that myself.
It did happen. It happened.
It did. There you go. There you go, Sean.
But I looked into this at length and talked to a lot of people, not just Andrew and his people, but people outside the organization. And The snowboarding accident was not the reason the shoulder took so long to heal. It was not. It was more so because he tried to throw on it for so long and come back in 17, and that's what made it way worse. And when he threw on it in 17 and tried to come back, I mean, there were days he said where he couldn't even lift his arm the next day, couldn't even throw a ball 10 yards. I mean, that's how bad it was. So I don't think it was a great surgery, but when he tried to throw on it when it wasn't ready, it just got way worse.
Now, Zach, before I forget about it, can you tell everybody where to find your Twitter handle, where they, if they haven't listened to the podcast yet, where can they find that and all that good promotion stuff on your side?
Yeah, super easy. You can find it anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, all that. It's the Athletic Football Show, but if you just look Luck, if you just Google Luck Podcast, the Athletic has a page where you can get all the episodes. If you're an Athletic subscriber, you can listen to it ad-free, so you don't have to listen to me talk about Indochino suits, which nobody wants to do. I was at a wedding last weekend and got asked at least 50 times if I was wearing Indochino. So I was like, thanks for listening to the podcast, but I'm sure everybody's tired of my voice. So it's been blown away by the feedback the last couple of weeks on the podcast. Had no idea how this would turn out, but it's been overwhelming.
Well, follow-up question, was you wearing an Indochino suit?
I was not, but maybe in week 1 if it shows up in time.
All right, there you go.
Chase, you up? You got your question?
Yes, sir. Hey, how you doing, Zach? It's an honor to have you on the show.
I'm good, Chase. How are you?
It was a good day at training camp today. But
oh, you were there?
Yes, me and Thomas were there.
Sweated with the rest of us.
We were on the other side with Big P over there by the entrance.
It was hot as sin.
But my question is, I remember where I was on that day. Luck retired. I was actually supposed to go to that game, but I was on National Guard duty. And then at 8:00 that night, the news broke out from Adam Schefter. If that news wouldn't have broke that night, when do you think that news would have broke, or would he still be on the team throughout the whole season?
No, he filed his retirement papers that afternoon. That's how it leaked out, I think. You know, the funny thing is Schefter wasn't even looking for this story. He didn't even have an idea. He he was at dinner with his family and he got a call. Like someone reached out to him. So Adam, nobody knew about this, but there was a press conference scheduled for the next day at 3:00. So it was going to happen. So in my estimation, if Schefter doesn't break it at 8:30, it gets broken by 10 or 11 o'clock that night. And the same chaos ensues, maybe not on the field, but that night. And then there's a press conference the next day with his family, which was supposed to fly in. But when it happened that night, the Colts knew there was no way that they could hold it. They could never. There's no way they could hold the press conference till the next day. So Andrew needed to come out and talk right away. So it was. You talked to Matt Conti, the PR director for the Colts. It was absolute chaos in that press box. I will never forget it.
So follow-up question to that. Why do you think it took them so long why did it wait till the 3rd, 4th preseason game for him to make that decision? And because I know because everybody was wondering.
Oh, he made the decision 6 days earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, he went into Irsay's office on Monday of that week. So that's 5 days prior, and told Irsay, Reich, and Ballard in a 2-hour meeting that he was done. And they said, wait, done? And he said, I'm retiring. And they said, well, what if the ankle calf heals in a couple months? Like, that was my reaction. Like, why not just come back in October? And he was done. Like, it was not up for debate, and he wasn't second guessing himself.
Well, a big thing that I took away from your series, Zach, was him speaking about it when the game wasn't any fun for him anymore.
Yeah, is that sad, wasn't it?
It was. And right after you had that clip, but you had the clip of him speaking about that the game's just not fun no more, and it's time for him to step away. So those two pieces really fit together.
That's sort of the hidden key in all of this is, like, imagine going to work every day and hating it and yourself. And it's really sad because you guys all watched Andrew Luck. Like, his first couple of years, like, did anybody love football more than that guy? Like,
No.
Like, it was there was such a joy to his game. And I said that in the podcast, but like, Jaquel Jackson, who played 10 years in the league, says there were 2 guys that he played with in his lifetime that made him question whether he loved football enough. And DQ lasted 10 years, made Pro Bowls, was like a great consummate pro team captain. He said those two guys were Frank Gore and Andrew Luck. And so the thought that Andrew Luck didn't love football is just misplaced. And the game made him miserable. The pain, football was just beaten out of him. And it's really sad because he was so damn fun to watch.
And so good too.
He was.
Pretty damn good too.
Now, Zach, my next question, and I know you covered it on the podcast about who gets the majority of the blame. And to me, I thought you was playing Switzerland there a little bit on
yeah.
on who you personally would point the finger at. Myself, I give it on Gribson. To me, that's his job. His job is to put the right pieces on the field at all times, and he didn't do it. He tried, yes, like you elaborated on the podcast, but he failed miserably. So regardless if you tried, you failed, it's still your fault. That's where I place the blame. But personally, where do you really land at pointing the finger here?
Yeah, well, you're not off. I mean, we all know that Grigson needed to do a better job, period. No questions asked. I mean, I think the one thing that gets lost is he didn't even try. He tried. He didn't do a good job. And that's where the blame starts. And when you're a GM in the NFL, there's no excuses. You got to get the job done. And he didn't do it. And that's very obvious. I do think it's layered though. And I think Andrew has a role in this as well. And he told me this years later that he just played too reckless. And, kind of said this in the very end, like Andrew, in a lot of ways, was this perfect football player, like this guy who didn't think he was any better than anybody else. Even like the backup left guard, he didn't think he was any more important than them. But he was an imperfect quarterback because a lot of these hits came out of the pocket. And Andrew's ability to put everything on the line for a first down was freaking great. Like guys love playing with that kind of guy. But the beating added up, and you just look at these guys today. Like, look at the way that Lamar Jackson avoids contact, and I mean Brady and Rodgers are insane. They don't get touched, and Andrew was almost too selfless for his own good. That's absolutely a player here. But the shame of it is, it took him 6 years to get him a decent offensive line. And if Chris Ballard perhaps had been here early and gotten some guys like a Braden Smith or a Quentin, and Grigson drafted Ryan Kelly. If those guys had been there early, it's a tough what if. But what if he had been healthy? Is he still playing? Do they have a ring? Like, man, you could do all this all day.
True that.
All right, this question comes from Matthew Banks. He says, "Why did Jim Irsay pay Andrew Luck the rest of his contract? Was it because Irsay felt bad, or more so because of the guy Andrew is?"
Good question.
That's a good question. I've always wondered that too, because that was a lot of money.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. And I can't give you a direct answer from Jim Irsay. I can't. I've never gotten a straight answer. I think it's just an appreciation for Andrew Luck. I think it's just him saying, "You gave everything you had, and we know that." But yeah, it's been tough to find a replacement for him the last couple of years, and. But I think it was Jim Irsay saying, "You're not walking away because you want to. You're walking away because the situation dictated it."
True that.
All right. So I have another question. I know you said that Andrew and Chris Ballard are still talking with each other. They remain friends and everything. If Andrew Luck ever have that love again to come back, do you think you see him come back as a coach, not a player, but as a coach, working for the team?
No, that's a fair question, though. I like your question. I do think Andrew might get back into football in some capacity, but not how we think. Not like the NFL, not college.
Yeah.
I think he likes the innocence of the younger. Like, I think I could see him doing a little bit of high school, and we'll see what happens. But I can't see him doing anything with the NFL. I think he likes being away from it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. And
I think he'd make a hell of a coach, though. He's really
Yeah.
smart.
Because I mean, I was reading how you were saying that how Andrew's he got his book podcast talks about books like Concrete, He could talk about concrete
Who
any
the
day.
hell reads about concrete, man?
It's just like
I didn't even know they made books about concrete.
I was like, really? Wow. It's just like
Oh man, that's hilarious. I think
Jump in, Clyde. I think we lost Carvey.
so. Zach, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. I will say I do
there's a
remember. Oh, there he goes. I think I do remember. Ryan Grigson kind of like burying himself, and he was like, "Well, you can't pay any linemen when I've just paid the quarterback." That was like the worst statement ever. I do recall that.
Bad quote. I remember hearing that. Yep.
Yeah. But my
It's
question-
hard to build a defense when we're paying Andrew what we're
Yeah.
paying him. That's
It
a
was-
bad quote.
Ridiculous, right? I can't believe you said that. But I will say I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. And I know you're gonna be, kind of limited on here, but I just want to throw this out here. So yesterday we all seen the OBJ tweet, and I want to bring it to this Colts team now. And we've had Chris Ballard on, and we've talked about, was he looking at a vet receiver? He really said no one outside of TY. So can you say, from what you know at this point, or what you are at liberty to say, is there any validity to an OBJ to Colts to Indy type in the works that you know of?
I can only tell you what I know, and from the people I've talked to, no, it doesn't make sense. And let's think about this. I'm not saying he's not a good receiver. I saw what he did last year with the Rams, but he can't play until November.
Exactly.
And why are you going to pay him if he can't play till November, right now? And one and two, no one's gotten hurt, no one big yet. I mean, maybe they do, but is Paris Campbell having a good camp? Yeah, you're damn right he is. And
Yeah,
I know what you're going to say about Paris Campbell, but he's playing well.
Absolutely.
Ashton Doolin is playing well, and
This
I'm not
catch
saying
today was crazy.
he was a great catch.
Oh
And
my Lord.
I wrote about Alec Pierce tonight, and that kid is swimming upstream a little bit because he's playing with the ones and he's a rookie, but I like the way he moves, and I think he's going to be a player with the first team offense this year. So I just don't think, I don't think it's anyone besides TY. And I don't know if TY comes back at all. I don't know for sure. I think that's kind of up in the air, but I can only speak for what I know and for who I talk to, but I trust who I talk to, and I got a pretty firm and quick no.
And that's why I was saying I think that it stagnates the young guys. And Ballard has said plenty of times that he believes in this group and he needs to see them play with a quarterback like Matt Ryan, who has in the past had guys like Russell Page. Great, absolutely. So
who is the Colts GM? Think about this. When have they done a move like that? If you can give me an example, I'll listen. But even Gilmore was methodical. It was he came for a visit. They didn't sign him.
Yep.
So it doesn't make sense to me. I've been surprised in this business a lot, but from those who I've talked to, no. No.
That's a good point, because last year there was the same thing with Fisher. He came for a visit, didn't sign him, then we signed him, right? So
there you go.
I like that. Just thought about that. Thanks, Zach. Just needed that little.
Chris could teach everybody a series of lessons on how just to be patient.
Look at what he did with the quarterback situation this year.
Oh my goodness,
it's incredible. People ask me all the time, how did he get that from Washington for Carson Wentz? I don't know. But I mean, Washington came in with a 4 and a 6, and Ballard got 2 threes, one of which becomes a 2. I mean, that's like highway robbery.
Incredible.
All right,
and there were no other suitors. There were no other suitors. So yeah. Anyway, we're getting off topic, but.
All right, Zach. So kind of changing gears again, going back to the podcast a little bit. So one of the things that obviously a big takeaway other than Andrew and his story was the news about Peyton Manning and, the front office of the Colts. Genuinely, what was just genuinely your thoughts and takeaways from Peyton begging to stay with the Colts? I mean, what was your personal thoughts on that?
He's a psycho in the best way. I mean, think about this, guys. He was going to be the red zone quarterback. Have you ever heard, so Orlovsky makes a big throw and they get inside the 20 and they're like, Dan, get off the field. Peyton's coming back in for the red zone. That'd be unbelievable. Peyton was a control freak, and he went against Bill Polian's wishes and Caldwell's wishes, and he didn't want to let go. And that's what made him amazing. That's what made him great. And I grew up watching that dude, and he was as good as anyone I've ever seen at the position. Anyone. And it was really, really, really important for Peyton to retire a Colt. It really mattered to him. He didn't want to wear any other jerseys. And Irsay really wanted that too. Irsay would tell friends at that time, when he knew he had to move on to Andrew, you can't cut Peyton Manning. That's what they put on your tombstone. Irsay knows. how much he means to the city and the fans and the organization. But that's what episode 2 was about. It was just this unbelievable confluence of events that, Irsay didn't really have a choice. Like if you look at it, like Bob Kravitz wrote, and Bob, I don't agree with everything Bob writes, but when he wrote at that time, he was right. You got to make this decision with your head and not your heart. And I think if there's ever been an athlete in pro history, any sport, that could not move away from his team, it was Peyton Manning. I don't think anyone's meant more to the team, the fabric of the city, and everything than him. And it was really hard for Irsay, but Peyton was like, dude, I'll stay. I'll mentor Andrew. I'll help him be the scout team. Like, no, it wasn't going to work. But this was not what Peyton wanted. Let's be honest.
Can we double tap that really quick, Country? Because my thought to that is, and I know what you just said, Zach, but never a thought of Green Bay situation with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. Like never, not even once.
You can't sit Andrew Luck on the bench. He's too good.
Yeah. True that. I mean, and Rodgers was the 24th pick, though he should have been much higher. So I got you.
Right. I got to go in about 5 minutes. So
okay,
just wanted to throw
I
that
got
out
another
there.
one.
Yeah.
Going to not your podcast, but just football in general. With us having Matty Ice for a couple of years, when do you think, or how will the Colts get their next quarterback?
Yeah, that's $1 million question, right? I think the answer is they don't know, but they have time now. Like they didn't box themselves in. And with Matt Ryan being here for 2 years, maybe 3, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Irsay said 4 in the spring, and I thought he was a little crazy. But Matt looks young and he looks good. But it's camp. It's August 3rd. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But they could do it in the spring because why? Because they have a first-round pick finally, and 2, because they don't need to jump at a guy and force a pick if they don't want to. They have a couple years now, and that's key. That's really huge here. Everyone's like, why hasn't Ballard done it? Because he wasn't ready. Because he didn't want to. They didn't like Jordan Love. Like they didn't think he was the guy. And based on what we saw last year in Kansas City when Love got his start, like that's not the future of a franchise. So we'll see. But I think it was a good year not to have a first-round pick because there were no good quarterbacks in this year's draft. Kenny Pickett doesn't look like he's doing very well in Pittsburgh. I know it's early, but there's some better talent coming out next year. And I think if the Colts want to get aggressive, they've got a 1, but they've also got 2 2s, and they could use those to move up because they're not going to have a top 10 pick, assuming the season goes right. It's all about that. It's all about positioning to move up when you want to, when you really feel like you have the guy. We'll see, but they have some flexibility now that they have not had in the past.
Right.
True that.
Anybody got any more questions?
I got one more question, brother.
Spit it out quickly.
Hey, so what do you think of who has impressed you so far in the training camp? The one that you like, man, he caught my eye. Who's that one person that you, since you've been there?
Well, is it bad if I say Jonathan Taylor? Is that too obvious?
No, it's not.
He's good, man. No, I'll give you a better answer than that. Pittman dominated today. Dominated. Like caught everything, got in a fight, hit even his punches landed. Like he was like any thoughts of him taking a step back, don't entertain them. Like he looked incredible. Like made a tough catch over the middle over Stephon Gilmore. Like he was totally covered. So Pittman, like last year in training camp, we could tell Pittman and Taylor were the best players in the offense. And what did they do? They took huge steps in year 2. So I like those 2. Naheem has been used a ton in the run and the pass. Like you're going to see a lot more Naheem this year. I know it. I don't know why. I don't know why they haven't done it in the past. I think it was quarterback related. But I saw the comment just pop up. Yannick Ngakoue has a first step. Like that dude can roll. He embarrassed Matt Pryor on a snap today Yannick was in the backfield within like a blink of an eye. And that's not to say Pryor hasn't had his really good downs. I'm not saying he's had a bad camp, but this is a different level. This is a stud edge rusher that they haven't had since 2013 with Mathis. And like, you need that edge. And I don't mean like edge position. You need that badass on the edge. Like how many games have they lost the last couple of years with one rush would have finished it?
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore comes to mind, but you guys could name a ton more. So, the studs look really good, which is what you want. But if Yannick came in here and didn't do much in camp, I'd be like, what's going on? He has caught my eye right away.
And he's got a tremendous personality to go along with that beast. every time I've been out of
Yeah.
camp, he is one of the few players I've ever seen sign autographs and take pictures before practice. And
Yeah,
then
he
after
wants to
practice,
be
he's
here.
back. Yeah,
I'm talking to him.
absolutely.
I'm talking to him soon for a story, so stay tuned on that. But he seems like he wants to be with the Colts. So if things go well this year, there's no reason why they wouldn't just give him a big deal.
Absolutely.
All right, anybody else got anything?
That's it. We at his
Nope.
time.
All right, Zach, man, we can't thank you enough for jumping on here, spending some time, giving us the ins and outs of this masterpiece that you did. And I'm saying it now, it's a masterpiece. I
Thank
freaking
you.
love that series.
Appreciate it,
I
man. It
know,
was a.
I know you said it took you what, 5 months
It
to.
did. Yeah, it was my whole. It was a lot of time, man. But I'm glad the feedback's been awesome. So, thank you for the kind words. And thanks for having me, guys. This was a blast.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Zach.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Zach.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care, guys. If you guys
All right,
if you
man.
guys
You
are out
take
of
care.
camp, come say hi.
I'll be
Yeah,
out
will do.
Sunday.
Yep, well, I'll be out there Sunday as well.
All right, gentlemen, hell of a job. Hell of a job. That was fun. That
All right,
That was
so
fun.
that
yeah,
was
that was
absolutely a blast, you guys.
so after from hearing everything for everybody. So hearing from Zach himself and what he told us, what have y'all learned? Like something new? Like, oh, I did not know that.
Kind of
From
an aha moment.
yeah, like like what was your aha moment, Pat?
That I was really surprised he did not know why Jim Irsay paid Luck the money after he retired.
Okay,
Because he gets to talk to those guys all the time. When that question was brought up, I'm like, hey, this is a damn good question. I've always wanted to know this, and I thought he would have the answer for that, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
was
Which
surprised he didn't.
yeah, I mean, because he's very knowledgeable, and what he wrote was just it was so incredible. I was impressed by series one all the way to the end, the rise and fall, which I tell anybody if you haven't had a chance, go on Spotify, Apple, we say iHeartRadio, wherever. Just type in Luck, Andrew Luck, and you will see Zach
Andrew
Keefer,
Luck podcast or
Andrew
pod,
Luck
something
podcast.
like that. Yeah,
Yes, and you will see he will tell you the rise and fall of Andrew Luck. When he started in college, high school, college, NFL, and his retirement. It's very entertaining and very thoughtful. Like, man, that's crazy. I did not know that. Like, ah. So speaking of the aha moments, Clyde, what was your aha moment?
uh, there's no joke. But I really didn't have an aha moment, but I actually had a clarification moment. And that clarification is, trust your first instinct. And I'm not saying that nothing will change, but we've been in this podcast, show type thing for a little minute. And we see stuff that pops up all over Twitter and this and that. But when you actually get to talk to people that are actually associated with the Colts, I have a hard time feeling they're gonna, steer us away. We've talked to Chris Ballard live on our show. We've now talked to Zak Keefer, and it's just good to hear clarifying things like, we heard what we heard, right? So when we hear it,
absolutely.
don't try to go around it because all of a sudden it seems like it makes sense. That's what I be trying to say as a fan. Like, so I just like that clarification, because this is an inside guy. If you know anything about Colts football and writers, if you don't know Zak Keefer, you're not paying attention. You know what I
Facts.
mean?
That
So
is
not a true aha moment, but just a clarification moment for me.
okay. Big country. Do you have an aha moment
And along with Clyde, it ain't like it was a necessarily an aha
or
moment
clarification?
or this might even be a clarification. It's just when I, you know, listening to that podcast took me back as a football player myself, a person, a man who loved the game of football, and kind of relating to it a whole lot. Yeah, it was about the rise and fall, but the way I viewed it was actually a man getting a divorce from the sport that he loved,
Mm,
and it was hard. That's just it's so emotional. It's like a marriage. He was married to the game of football. If you really think about it, that's how much he loved it. He was married to it, and to step away from it was heartbreaking, like a divorce would be. And I had kind of like the similar thing when I was being recruited by colleges in high school. I made the wrong decision and I turned my back on football, divorce from football. And my passion, dropped for it, after I couldn't go to college for it. So my thing I took away from it is it was more relative. And, even the top stars, have their moments like Andrew Luck did. Like it's one of the more uglier moments of football. But to me, it was like one of the most emotional things of football. So that's what I took away from it.
Yeah, because the alternative is like, think about how great Brett Favre was and how well he played in all those years, but then think about the aftermath. Painkillers, struggling with life, like not knowing when to cut it off. Like I should retire, but I'm gonna keep going, make myself worse. So I'm glad now we have, 5 or 3, 4 years to kind of think about it afterwards. It's like I'm glad he made the right choice for him because that was the most, I guess, unfortunate and unprecedented choice for everybody else, right? Like damn, we lost a great one, but I'd rather him do that than be that guy that's stuck in a
Yeah,
crazy.
and Chase, I was hoping you was going to ask that question about if they'd ever found out who leaked that information to Schefter. Because
But that,
that's another question that's always been in my mind that's never been answered.
But like he said, Schefter wasn't the one. Somebody told him.
Well, yeah, somebody always telling Schefter.
I
He's
think
not.
I think it's like what he said. Like once you put that contract out there saying that you're retiring, they probably get it out. And whoever gets like that first email, like notification, like, hey, this
Yeah,
person's retired.
and
They'd
if
be
they
like, boom.
right, if they had filed that paperwork, it could have been somebody in the NFL office.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it had to
But
be. I really think it had to be. So
it's still it's just something that I've always wondered. Who snitched that shit out?
gotta let
I
go,
mean,
Pat.
I don't want to let go.
My other big question is why did Andrew take so long and wait until 2 weeks before the season started to say I'm done?
Yeah, I can. Oh, I can't
Well, it
answer
was
it for
kinda
Because
in the
maybe
Andrew.
they would have did their
But
draft a little different.
But it was in the show though. It had nothing to do with that. So when
yeah,
he
it just was the time that he realized he could not get off that hamster wheel unless he walked away.
Because like you, I didn't know he was actually on the painkillers like you were saying. I didn't know he was on that. I thought it was just straight go always just doing rehab. He's basically not practicing. It's rehab, go play, rehab, go play. I didn't know painkillers was part of that.
but he said it, but like on the series, they mentioned like when it was first announced, like early in the spring, it was much of nothing, right? But then he had another visit with a doc like around that time frame. And they was like, I can't really figure this out. I really don't know what's going on. And I think at that point he was like, nah, we're not gonna do this again. Because that's what happened. It's the same thing with his shoulder. Like, oh yeah, did the surgery, should be good. And then all of a sudden I can't squeeze a football. Like,
Yeah,
what do you mean?
and it was even in the podcast that Ballard asked Andrew how he was doing. I'll be ready. I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
Right.
So to me, I'll definitely take Andrew at his word that at that particular time, he had 100% thought he would be ready and back and ready to lead this team, and then he just stayed on that hamster wheel for another month, another month, another month, and then he's like, you know what? I can't get off this damn hamster wheel because I'm still at camp, I'm still in the weight room, I'm still doing this, I'm still doing that. The only way to get off this damn hamster wheel is to get completely out of the cage.
Who's in the background? Let somebody in. Who's that?
Oh,
Thomas is coming back in.
Oh, okay. All right. So put up there. Do we have any questions? Any
I
aftermath
think
questions?
Tyler he asked the question. What
yeah,
happened?
I marked a couple.
Tyler,
Um,
tell us what do you think about the season coming up with this team before you go?
I'm
That
like,
was the
yeah,
Zach.
yeah,
I think
that
that
was
was the
Zach.
Zach.
But he asked what happened today at camp with Pittman. You know, so if nobody have known, if you don't know, Michael Pittman got in a fight with was McLendon? McLendon?
McLeod.
McLeod.
Yeah,
Yeah,
McLeod.
McLeod, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever his name is. But yeah, they got in a fight with him. I don't know what y'all was there. So the fellas that was there, what did y'all see in that particular situation?
it was a play basically one-on-one that Pittman won, and McLeod didn't. Pittman and McLeod didn't like something, and I think McLeod went up to him. Pittman, you know how Pittman is. You get in his face, he's going to Andre Johnson you.
Hey, you
It
know
was,
what? Go ahead,
oh, yeah,
Tommy.
it was definitely like a big collision between those two. I think. And I think that's what kind of set it off. But like, you know, like we're in front of all like the D line, so it's hard to see. But that's what I gathered.
See, I see. One thing I like about that is not that shows us that we got that dog mentality, that we're not going to back down. And Michael Pittman is not scared of nobody. He will stand up to the biggest person, and having that fight amongst each other is showing during training camp. It's saying that how hungry I am, how I want this, and I'm not going to back down on from anybody, not my own teammates. You gotta. So I like that. I like that so much.
Yeah.
See, I view fights on the field like that differently than a
Okay.
fight on the street. A fight on the field is over two competitors competing, and it just escalated.
It's
There,
passion.
yeah,
Passion,
there, it's nothing personal. It's nothing. This guy said this about my mom, or this guy did this. It's nothing like that. You see a fight on the street. On the street, it's always personal.
Yeah.
On the field, it's competitiveness, and that's a good thing. Now we don't want to see our players go in fisticuffs, but if you do see it, don't read more into it than what it is. It's just two premier competitors competing against each other, and the caliber that both of those players are, they're going to fight tooth and nail, jumping up for the ball, landing every from the word get go. They're fighting to win that battle every time,
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
it just escalates a little bit too much, gets heated, and once it cools down, it's over.
And
So
they probably squash it like later on that day. Like my bad, dog, Leah, my bad. I understand. It's not like it's not going to be a locker room situation. So
No, I
hey,
mean, I
No.
agree too. I also think though, like one thing that gets misconstrued with all of this all the time, right? And I know we play into family, brotherhood, this and that and the other, but at the same time, like to kind of say what Pat say, but slightly different, like you have to be a competitor first, and you got to have pride in yourself. And a lot of times, guys get out here, like for instance, I'm not saying you do anything dirty, but you get one time as like Tyreek Hill to like peace sign me when you run into the end zone. Like that's pride, right? So what I'm getting at is I haven't seen the play, but perhaps Michael Pittman went up and dogged him out, caught the ball, kind of made him look bad, and a little scuffle that became a fisticuff right there. Like there's some pride in that, and I can live with that because on Sundays, instead of just getting beat and running off the field and swigging water and thinking of how much money you make, you kind of like wear that badge, like that shit ain't gonna happen no more. That's my bad, and I need to go out there and prove to y'all that it's my bad. Either I'm gonna turn this shit over next time, or I'm gonna lay his ass out, or whatever it might have you. But that won't happen again. Like that's how you build, faith in your team. But nowadays we see all the time it's too much friends out there in sports.
exactly.
People getting together and having lunch before the game and going out to dinner. Bro, I'm old school. We'll see each other in the off season. I don't give a shit if we best friends or brothers. You're not coming to my house to have dinner and we play tomorrow. To
Yeah,
me, that gives the
absolutely.
wrong signal. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
I want animals on my team. I want
Exactly.
cage dogs that's ready to go out there and put it on the line each and every day. Period. You know what I mean? So that's
Yep.
just me.
see, and that's another thing. These two are fighting it out with each other, with their own teammates. What the hell do you think they're going to do on Sunday?
Absolutely.
Let these boys do it. Let them. It's only making them better. It's only making the team better.
Who did
It's
Pittman
building
get
that
into
chemistry.
last? Remember
Exactly.
we made bananas last year on somebody. What game was that?
Was
Y'all
it
remember
Tampa
that?
Bay? I think it was
Tampa
New
Bay?
England or Tampa Bay.
I'm
Yeah,
about to
he
say,
went nuts.
uh, it's like one thing I like about Pittman is he plays with the chip on the shoulder. Because you got to think about this. Everybody right now is saying what they saying. I ain't gonna lie, I said it too. You know, he's not really a number one wide receiver. You
Shit.
know, but I'm just saying though, he got that chip on his shoulder now, and he's about to bust everybody's head, including mine. And I'm not saying I don't believe in him. I'm not saying I don't believe him because I do believe on him. But it's just like this man right now is playing with the chip on his shoulder, and he's about to prove everybody wrong that this guy, right? Like, hey, I am that number one wide receiver. I am the impact. What else I need to do to prove to you
because he
that I'm
didn't
here?
look like it to the masses. But again, like I said, Michael Thomas is a number one receiver and has been in New Orleans, and it's the same player. Not blazing speed, great possession, great hands, go make the tough catches. But we all are looking at what's sexy. Oh, they run a 4.340. Oh, they this, that, that. No, Michael Pittman is a one. And he's gonna prove it. He don't have to get 2,000 yards, 1,800 yards, but a 1,200-yard season with 8 touchdowns, that's number one. And he's on pace for that. Easy. I mean, he had
Right.
1,100 last year.
Now about more of the dog mentality. The two free agents, well, the trade and the free agent pickup. Yannick Ngakoue, oh my goodness. Just like Keefer said, he's got that wicked first step. I even told him at camp today, I had a quick conversation, like, he's my pick of defensive player of the year.
Well, we
If
hope
you're
to
going
see.
to double team Buckner, you can't leave Yannick one-on-one with the left tackle. You can't.
Facts. Shout out to him too, because he
and then
gave us a
having
shout out.
Gilmore as your corner, and he got beat today on Pittman one time, but other than that, he's been on Pierce. Gilmore's been locked down on Pierce. Those two have been going at it all camp.
Facts. Yeah. Let's make sure we give Ngakoue a big shout out because he gave us a nice video tribute today. Go ahead and
Thank you, boss man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You can thank Big P for that one.
Right. So we got Bobby captured saying that. Now we got Quiddy, and now we got Yannick, man. So we working our way through them all.
When we gonna see that video? When we gonna see that video posted up on here? We ever gonna see that back?
Oh, okay. Well, I was about to say because we tried to sit in the group, but all you green messengers, they come out looking like shit from 1980 Tetris.
I can try to load it if you guys keep talking. Don't mind looking
Oh
at the
yeah,
back
cool.
of my
We-
head.
I mean,
Thomas was like, "Can you send it to me personally? Because I can't see it." Yeah, that's your phone, buddy. Your phone.
If you
What do you
click
mean?
on it, you can see it, but like it'll get bigger, but still
It
it's
just
all
sounds
blurry and it sounds bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
but
good.
my,
He
okay,
sent to me-
so Thomas, that okay.
Huh?
So since you wasn't there for the whole show, but okay, so while you was at the camp, who stood out for you? That one that you caught your eye, be like, man, I know he was good, but I didn't know he was that good. You
Jelani
know?
Woods by far.
So
He
what
was
did you
the
see?
only
What
dude,
did you see?
dude, he's massive. Like he was the only one I saw. I mean, besides Ashton Doolin, he had a huge play at the end. But the whole offense, I wasn't crazy impressed with outside of Jelani Woods. He just towers over everybody. It's crazy.
All right. So what? Okay. So did he do anything that stood out that make you be like, yo?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing, like when I watch somebody catch, like if you go up and get the ball instead of just letting it come to you, he's a dog. He goes up and gets it. Like there's some receivers you see they just let the ball come to them, but like I like the people who go up and get it, and he did that like 3 or 4 times today.
He's
and
got
he had,
great
like,
hands. He's got
Yeah,
great
he did like I think what was like a 40-yard. It would have been a touchdown if it was a regular game. Like he went like 40 yards. And that's like the only bright spot that was on offense for me today because I wasn't.
The defense definitely won today.
Yeah, defense was
Yeah.
But
So-
no, Jelani was who I kept watching.
Did
Tyquan Lewis, everybody was in the backfield all day today.
Yeah,
So so I'm glad you said that. I'm glad y'all said that the defense was in the backfield. Did Matt Ryan get on anybody's head today? Did you seen that, like, step it up, guys, getting on their heads? Did y'all see that?
I didn't
see
notice
that
that.
today.
It was hard to see though, because like he said, like the defensive line was back there the whole time, and he just had a way of disappearing in him. It was weird.
I did ask Isaiah Rodgers how many touchdowns he's going to get this year. He said 10.
Yeah,
And so that's my guy that I'm actually choosing because I haven't been to camp yet, but I've watched, camp highlights from every social media plus, the Colts.com. And what I've seen in this guy, and this is the type of camp you want to have, I always believe if you're too good, like, you got too many PBUs and you got 15 interceptions, like you're bound to get humbled in the season. What I've seen is Isaiah Rodgers will go out and make a crazy play, crazy pass breakup or interception, but then he'll also get beat. And when he's getting beat, it's not that he's getting beat bad. Like you take Doolin's catch today, that was on Isaiah. Like he just took it.
He had perfect coverage.
Yeah, perfect coverage.
Yeah.
He was right there, and he just took it from him. And then you take the other day when Alec gave him the little hezzy route, you could definitely see how quick Alec was, but you see what kind of makeup speed that Isaiah had. So those battles right there for a young, I'm gonna say rookie, but a young second-year player who's now about to jump into that starting role, actually a third-year player. This is the kind of camp I want to see. Some people get caught up with like, oh, he's so good, like that's a shutdown corner, or oh, he's a receiver, he hadn't dropped a pass. I want them to show that they're human in training camp, so when the season comes, they're iron sharpens iron, they're ready. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that he's having like, I don't even call it up and down the camp. He's just having like, I got a big play. I gave up a big play, but I was still right there. He hasn't looked bad. Like Rock, when I seen him at training camp, like he was looking bad at times, like bad.
I will say this: Rodgers and is it Fasson?
Sure.
I can't. We said it earlier.
The guy from the Raiders.
Yeah.
Between him and Rodgers, they've been rotating to be the second cornerback on the outside.
I will say. Can I?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so number 42, random running back. I'd never heard of him. Marcel Dabo. I didn't know we had him. He broke off like 4 or 5 big runs in a row. You remember that, Chase?
Oh, is that number 41?
Yeah,
42,
number 42.
like that?
Yeah, that's another one that I forgot to mention.
Okay, now y'all, since y'all talking about running backs, right? I know we picked up Philip Lindsay. I have not heard anything about him.
That first day of training camp, that dude was a dog. He was breaking and shaking people left and right.
Okay, so I'm glad you said something because I haven't, I've been looking like, okay, what's up with Philip? I like Philip Lindsay,
Hey, he's came to play. I think like Yannick, I think he's happy to be in Indy and he wants to perform. So I mean, what I seen on day one, there is no surprise that he'll make it into that third string, running back position.
See, and the thing is though, as Zach said, they've been using Naeem Hines for on receiving. So now think about this. Say they use him as a receiver. Say they got all 3 of their running backs out there. Naeem as a receiver, and you got Taylor and Lindsey right there. Woo-wee. What are you going to do about it?
I got that video loaded. Everybody want to see it?
All right,
let's start looking at your bald head. Shit, come on, man.
Let's get our shout out
All right,
video.
first of all, that's a sexy ass bald head, ain't it?
Ready? Yannick Ngakoue, go follow my friends at the Anvil.
Quick and simple, bro. We love it.
Absolutely.
You heard the man.
Go and do it again.
Ready? Yannick Ngakoue, go follow my friends at the Anvil.
Quick
My
and
friends.
My friends.
all right,
My
what y'all know
friends.
about this? Let's get back to some of these questions. What's the left tackle battle?
It's been Pryor the entire time.
Yeah.
It's definitely been Pryor the whole time.
Is the Rook on the field though?
No,
Nope.
he's on the second team.
I mean, we watched him practice. I mean, he looks strong, but Pryor's definitely taken over that starting position. Though he's ready to play.
Yeah.
Plus he knows that offense a little bit better. Being in and out of the left tackle position. Different other places on the line. So he's just ready to play, man.
There's no doubts on the offense, Tyler. It's just the offense has had two bad days today. The defense has had time to look at these guys. They've had time to look at each other and know each other's weaknesses and strengths. So they're going to go. It's going to be a good training camp and preseason. But I will say this: when Big P left, me and Thomas did see Kylan Granson's playing fullback, and they're giving him the ball running back.
He looked good too.
We're going back to an I formation. Okay.
He might be trying to say.
Yeah, Granson was running the ball today.
Big P,
I like that.
They only giving him a new position to save my face. That's my daddy taking care of me.
Here's his next question right here. So what do y'all think about this? Look, it's going to that. I don't think there's no way we keep 4 tight ends. So maybe
Ogletree is looking good.
Yeah, maybe
he
we'll
really is.
Thomas, you think Jelani's big. Ogletree is a damn redwood, man.
Ooh, is he not?
I mean, me and P had them credentials, and we were on the sideline. He'd run over, dude. Oh my god, you would think that man was 8 foot tall.
How
Well, that's
tall
what
is he
we-
officially? Do we know?
Isn't he like
Six
Like
eight.
6'8", 6'9"?
Oh, he's big. Jeez, he's taller than
Yeah.
Jelani. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You guys
He's
are
a monster.
facetious. Wait a minute. He's not no damn. No way he's that.
Look it up.
Here,
think
I
he
don't
is.
believe
You
this.
want
Way y'all
me to look it
describing
up?
him.
He's a
It's not-
Yeah,
What's
look
his first
look up his stats.
All right.
Okay, what's his first name? Jelani? No, it's not.
Andrew Ogle. I'm Google's saying 6'7", which is the same as
it's
Jelani.
Alec Ogletree.
Okay, 6'7", 6'9". I was like, that's
Andrew, I thought it was Andrew Ogletree.
Andrew
Andrew Alec. It starts with an A.
Yeah, let's get
Okay,
that
I'm making
together.
sure.
He's
we got to if we ever gonna have him on the show, man.
Okay, so that's that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, you don't ever want to give up on a second year player, and I'm not saying that we're gonna do that, right? But then you accidentally put yourself in a situation that you maybe didn't even consider. Think about it. Mo 6'6". Now this Ogletree kid 6'7". Jelani 6'7", 6'8". Where do you want to get? Like, that's a red zone nightmare. If you ever go 3 tight end set, there's nothing you can do. Like, literally. And then you can have one wide out there, and let's make him Michael Pittman at 6'4". There's nothing you can do. like play action, just throw it as high as you can, and then just pray, because it's going to be a PI. There's nothing you can do. 6'4" across the board or higher. Like, so what I'm saying is Granson at his 6'2"-ish, 6'3" self, if he showed more skill last year, I don't think we draft like we drafted this year. Right? So we lose Jack Doyle, who wasn't, a huge contributor to the offense as far as like the passing game. He had some big plays here and there over his years, but Jack was a hard-nosed blocker, right?
Uh-huh.
And we know Granson's not that. We know Mo Alley's not that. So to me, the younger kid, Ogletree, is that. Like, he's shown he can block his tail off. But even still, like, where do we now put Granson? I don't know, man.
I mean,
Maybe that's why they're putting him at fullback.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
what I'm
We
saying.
keep-
To save
we
a
keep-
roster spot.
we keep 3 tight ends, and we
Yeah.
get a fullback and go back to the eye.
They did that with Dwayne Allen, I
Frank
think,
was
didn't
saying last year they didn't have time to put in a fullback set last year. Now they got time to do it this year to add a fullback set this year.
And I think I think Granson will be not even a fullback. What do they call it? An H-back?
H-back, like, yeah.
Yeah, like, because he, like, remember who was really great at that? Remember Cooley? Remember Chris Cooley?
I got breaking information.
Oh,
they?
God.
Uh-oh.
No,
Zach just texted me, said that was a lot of fun. Make sure you thank the guys for all the great questions.
Well, yeah, this is the damn Anvil. Let's first do this real quick. Like, sometimes we forget to, I guess, talk about how special this show is and what it means to all of us. We say it here and there, but then there's moments like tonight. There's moments like with Chris. There's moments like with Zaire. There's moments when we're out in camp and we're able to get this exclusive stuff on and on and on and on, that everybody's hard work, everybody's dedication kicks in. So we are fans first. We'll never, ever come to you guys like we're know-it-alls, statisticians, analysts, because that's not what this show is about. It'll never be.
We're not Colts insiders. We're not professional journalists, sports journalists. We're just fans. We're fans that have a passion for this thing. We love to talk football. We love to talk Colts football, and we have a good time doing it.
Yeah.
We're not. And I guarantee you, somebody starts trying to act like they're somebody that they're not going to be on this panel.
It's what we do. So we appreciate Zak Keefer. We appreciate everyone else that we've had a chance to talk to, and I'm going to claim it who we're going to talk to in the future. But if you're just fans like us and you don't want to get bored to death with, stats and, yards per carry and this and that, come on here, have a good time with us. Crack a beer, whatever, laugh. But more importantly, and this is what we really truly mean, as the season kicks off, hit us offline. If you want to come in for a few minutes, we can have a quick chat, give your input. We are down for that. I think we'll even have a show where we'll just like cycle people in and out the entire show.
Yeah.
I don't see podcasts doing that much. So we're trying to be different here. And our tailgates put together primarily by these two, the one in the top corner, the one in the bottom corner, and everybody else is going to be a part of it. Wait till you see what we have planned for tailgating. Like I feel like at that point you'll really feel like you're part of this family because that's what it's about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I thought that was, Zach texting that was a testament to what we do, you guys. So kudos for y'all. A man like that does not have to take his time for us. A man like that has plenty of other shit he could be doing than spending some time with us.
Yeah.
And when he texted and said he had a good time, he meant it. And that's a testament to y'all.
I mean,
All
you
right,
had
so-
me going. You had me going for a second. I thought you were going to say Kroger had a special on Oreos or something.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Bro, what? For Tyler.
We haven't had one Omaha on here tonight.
Stupid. Oh my God.
Actually, if anybody gets an Omaha tonight, it's a few comments up, but it's from Dion, and he said "Go Patriots," so he gets an Omaha for that one.
Oh, man, come on.
Dean's my brother now.
I can't wait till we play the Pats. Make sure, Dean, you better find a way to be on 15 minutes or 5 minutes that week. You better come on here and speak all that because when we beat you, bro, I'm telling you,
Bruh.
you gonna hear about it.
Bruh.
Bruh. Zak Keefer, right, bro? Like, what's up? Come on, man.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
what
come
we
on, let's
talking
go.
about. Wait till I tell my dad about this. He like.
All right, we got a question right here from Robbie Owen.
Actually, a real
He said-
important question from Robbie.
He said, y'all still doing the poster drawing tomorrow?
Yes. Aren't we?
Yes.
You the one that
Okay.
got the posters.
You my posters.
You're the one that
Yeah.
that announced it, so we doing it or not.
This
Well,
guy down there.
I was asking because we did the show tonight. Are we still planning to do the show
Tonight was a
tomorrow?
special occasion. Don't
It was
let
a
these
special
people
occasion.
down.
Even if we don't do
hey,
the show, you can
hey,
still go
simmer
live.
down. Okay.
Omaha.
Good
But I'm
Lord.
I'm
I
just
got the
saying.
Indian over here about to scout me.
Oh
The
my
brother's
God.
back there about to
Omaha.
run me down.
Omaha.
The white
Omaha.
guys ain't saying shit to back me up.
Look,
Damn, I'm out here all by myself.
Oh my God. Why you always bring the
What
racism?
the hell?
What is wrong with you?
Chase has left the
That,
building.
that
on
ran
that
him off, didn't it?
This guy right here.
Yeah,
Anyways,
but Robbie, we're gonna do another show tomorrow, and we'll definitely do the trolling there. I do have just a little bit of good news on that. When we was at camp Saturday, I was able to pick up a couple extras, so we're going to be able to give out more than the three
you better have
that
my
we
damn
posted.
poster, Patrick. I
No,
bet you.
No, he don't, Clyde. No,
I bet I bet
don't.
you better have my damn. I'm the one that told you about it. I was like, hey, Marvel Day.
No,
You know,
let
you
me
were
tell
like,
you something.
"Ooh."
Let me tell you
Look,
something. He didn't-
look at
he
this,
don't-
Clyde.
Hey, let me
Clyde,
tell
come here and look at this.
I
Let me
don't
tell
do
you something.
cards.
And
Cards
it's
is fine.
signed.
That's fine. I'm gonna do cards.
Pete, be quiet for a second.
And
I
it's
got your poster, Clyde. He don't have shit.
Appreciate you. See, that's why. This is why I roll with
Oh.
Acosta. You know what I'm saying? He hold me down. He gonna try to get my jacket for me. And
He
everything.
got one. He got one friggin' poster, and Miss Sarah's not letting it go. He didn't get you shit. The only thing Acosta's got right now is a little bit of brown around his nose.
Well,
For being a
Jesus.
brown
First off,
noser.
first off, Sarah actually likes me. It's not like you, P. So then there's that.
That hurt. That hurt.
Yeah, you always mess her name up on purpose, right? So she probably doesn't even
No,
like
I don't do it.
Thomas.
But
Thomas.
Yo.
So me and
Look.
Thomas had a great conversation last
look
night.
what I got.
We
Okay,
did.
all
They
right.
cutting us.
Okay, slow down, Patrick. Let me tell you about Thomas. Me and
Yeah.
Thomas had a great conversation last night, and as long as it doesn't feel like a job, Thomas wants to start writing again.
Yeah.
And we're going to allow that, and we're going to try our best to get that outside of our network. We got to see how we tap into fan sided. This is no shade or whatever, but it doesn't seem like it's too difficult to get into the realm of like fan sided. I don't know how you become official Colts podcast, like the horse stable or whatever they call it, the blue stable. My bad. Stampede, Staple, whatever the hell they are. My fault. I'm not trying to throw shade, but I'm just like, how did that happen? So I'm trying to look for our opportunities because I looked at their following and it's, I'll just leave that alone. It is what it is. But anyway, I'll just leave that right there. But yeah, so yeah, Thomas, glad that you're gonna use your college degree and be great for us.
And I know y'all were mentioning this
course.
Sarah a minute ago, so I know y'all did a shout out last show for all the prayers and everything, and she's been through a lot, especially over the last less than 10 years, really. In less than 10 years' time, she's lost her biological father, her mother, her grandfather, and now her adopted father. But I talked her into coming into camp with us, and I'm so glad she did because she got to meet all these amazing players, all these amazing people. She got to hang out with our godson. So, but I got her a little blue, and that's this jersey that he wears is almost covered up, and this really made her day. That's what it's
cool.
all, and that's really what it's all about right here.
Husband of the year. Check that out.
Football, football saved me from a lot of things, and now it helped her out. So, and she was never a football fan until she met me, and she really started watching the Colts and asking questions, and that's how it all started. She started asking questions and everything, and then next thing you know, we're season ticket holders together now. So, but I definitely say a lot of prayers for my wife, daily. But right now she's going through it so much. She's got a lot going on. So, request prayers for her, guys. Keep them coming. She's a strong-willed lady. I mean, Pat seeing her, she was having a good time, always smiling. She didn't let nothing get her down at training camp. So, here's to my wife.
Oh man, you gonna make
It's
us
a good one.
Husband of the year, making us all look bad and shit. Yeah, man. Okay. Well, it's been an hour. I don't see too many more comments coming in. We're gonna wrap. You're gonna hit and go around and wrap.
Yeah, I mean, I can't rap, but I'll talk for a second.
I mean, wrap it up, man. Like, wait a minute.
Easy with that wrapping up stuff, man.
Oh shit! Well, if you don't want kids, you better wrap it up.
Whoa.
Y'all got to stop.
I mean,
y'all got to chill.
I mean, if you look at P's head, looks like he's got a condom on his head already. So,
Whoa, there it is.
Damn. What did I do to you? That hurt.
Absolutely not.
I'm just gonna go to bed. Nobody likes me.
The reason
All right, I'm gonna end it though. Hey, fellas, my final
Thanks,
thoughts.
kid.
My final thoughts is, hey, send me a prayer. My wife's grandma's in the hospital. She got pneumonia. My son's sick, and I'm sick. So again, just send prayers my way for everybody. I'm about to hop off of here. I apologize. I'm feeling under the weather. So y'all take care of yourself, okay?
All right, see you, brother.
Hey,
Man.
CJ.
All right, y'all.
Well, I'll say my final thoughts. Big thank you for Zach for spending some time with us, clarifying some answers, going a little bit deeper than what his podcast went, just to be able to answer some questions. So definitely appreciate your time, Zach, and hope we can get you back on. You have a standing invitation anytime you want to join. You've got a spot, brother. Next.
I didn't know.
Somebody do something. The dead air is not good.
I'll take it. Yeah, I want to shout out Zach for coming on. It sucks that I wasn't able to be there, but big shout out to him, and really just a shout out to everybody for like bringing us where we are. Like it's crazy. Like if you told me when I was a kid that like I'd be a part of this and like we'd all have media passes, like I would have flipped shit. So definitely appreciate every single one of y'all, and that includes everyone in the comments too. So.
Don't
You don't want to tell nobody to fuck off tonight?
I do.
Damn.
I'm gonna do it.
Damn.
I mean, hey, at least you didn't get called semen by anybody for once.
Everything was going.
No. Listen to this. I walk up to Pat at camp today. He doesn't even say hi. The first thing he says in front of everybody, "God, you look like a pedophile with a beard," like in front of everybody. I just stare at him.
Oh my god! This is a member of the panel. This is family. You gonna
And I
pedal?
gave him a hug
Everybody-
anyways.
And everybody looked at me. I'm like, well, oh, like, as soon as I walked out.
Bruh.
Hey,
You
Hey.
pedaled?
but I tell you what, that interchange that we had, and after we started laughing about it, I gave him a hug. You guys, he knows I was just teasing.
Imagine
But
if
that
we had,
energy started leaking out because everybody else started piling around us.
Yeah.
imagine if we had the camp body shirts and he said you look like a pedo with the beard, bro. I would die.
Bro.
I would have went home.
We should have got those camp shirts together.
That's
That
next.
would have
That's
been
next season.
hilarious.
Next year we're coming out full swing. I'm gonna wear little shorts. It's gonna be great. We will
Oh,
make
shit.
training camp a place that everybody wants to be.
Man,
We
you're
gonna
really trying to look, you're really trying to look like Tyreek Hill, ain't you?
I'm gonna have my hoochie daddies in a you know,
She
Oh,
does.
gee.
hoochie daddy shorts on and
Jesus.
a camp body shirt. What you mean?
You know
But
what?
then we'll have Anvil hats. We can just have a hat that say
Hey, I
"Bang
tell
that
you what.
bitch" or something.
I tell you what, you do that, I will get a mullet wig and I'll get some pit vipers and then I'll wear shorts and boots. How's that?
Bruh, see,
Oh,
we got it already
God.
squared away. It's happening. Say
All right,
less.
I'm
say
going in.
more.
I'm going
real.
in overalls.
Oh shit, we're gonna kill it next training camp. Look at that forecast of the
Oh
future.
God.
So what you got? What do you got, little pedo? What you gonna be wearing?
He's already got that My Chemical Romance haircut.
Yeah, don't even.
Look, I get an Omaha, but you don't.
I'll wear like a stupid. I'll buy like a stupid hot dog suit or something. I'll be the glizzy.
You gonna go as a glizzy?
Yeah.
You better be careful walking around as a hot dog with Joey Chestnut living in Westfield.
Facts.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah. Oh God. I don't like that.
He's like,
All
never
right.
mind. Never
Let me
mind.
close myself out. My final thoughts is listen, man. I've come a long way, bro. I've been technically podcasting for almost 5 years. And, in all of my different platforms, you get a little bit of steam, then you cool off. You get a little bit of steam, you cool off. But in this realm, man, like you guys are such a blessing. This show is such a blessing. Like, there's so much random that just comes our way, and it's a blessing, bro. And I can't even put it into words. So, like, I've literally, and to say this, like, watching Zach or listening to Zak Keefer's podcast, the 6-part series, like I felt like it was visual because I'm a very visual person. So for me to like really be engaged with something, I got to see like action clips and I got to be like, oh, I remember that. But he had such a great way of narrating and telling a story and clipping in certain memories and stuff like that, that it felt like I was watching something that was on NFL Network. So the dude is a genius. It's an amazing show. So to then flip around and almost have like an Anvil exclusive with him and ask him about this is surreal, right?
That was an Anvil exclusive.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know if he's talked to anybody else prior to us, but
Not
yeah,
that
for
I've
us,
seen.
that's an exclusive, and that's incredible because that went out to the masses. That athletic is not like an Indiana only thing. That's everywhere.
Worldwide.
And we are talking to one of its superstars in Zak Keefer. So, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for asking me to be a part of this. Because now that I'm a part of it, you can't kick me out, and I'm just gonna take it to the top. So
That's what we pay you for.
what I haven't got one check. So should I talk to a rep or do you not have
we know you've got HR's number, so just call them.
They must not have my routing number because I haven't gotten 0 paychecks.
White privilege.
I've actually paid more than I needed to be here, I think.
The check is in the mail.
Okay, yeah.
You and your white privilege money over here.
Thanks.
No, I'm just kidding. No, my final thoughts are, guys, just be sure to tune in tomorrow. It's a special week. We've only had one show a week, for a while because everything's been slow, but we're still going to have our show tomorrow to come by to have poster drawing. So come by. All you got to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will get you in there in the randomizer, and you can win a nice Marvel Colts poster.
Love it.
See, Kip might hit it on the nose there.
No, we won't wear it on media day. We'll just be in there, but We gotta have Anvil hats or something so they still know us. Bro, you know how the players will light up when they stretching and shit. Like, look at these ass. We will be super.
Oh yeah.
The players will come over and get our autographs.
I mean, why do you think they recognize P so easily all the time?
Superstars, bro.
Damn, you are on a roll tonight, country.
All right, man, get us out of here. I got to get ready to go to this thingamajig.
Send us out, P.
This is your
Oh, come on. Somebody take the lead.
Hey, appreciate y'all joining us. Remember, be
Damn.
good to each other. No drinking and driving. And as always,
Go
Colts.
Go Colts.
You dig.